that allows no survivors. The strike conducted on September 2nd was conducted in self-defense to protect Americans in vital United States interests. The strike was conducted in international waters and in accordance with the law of armed conflict.
Fox News contributor, former Secretary of State, CIA Director Mike Pompeo joins us now. First off, let's talk about the Venezuelan and a resolve. Conversation with the president, Mr. Secretary, and Maduro, both presidents. Essentially, the president reportedly, according to the Miami Herald, said, you got to leave. You can leave with your family. We're not going to exonerate you from future criminal charges. You're not going to get the military like you want. You say you want to control the military. That's not going to happen. You got to go. So the ball's in Maduro's court. But if he doesn't go, what are our options? Would we do a strike inside Venezuela?
Good morning, Brian. Look, I don't know exactly what the president's plans and intentions are, but it is completely legitimate for the United States of America to defend itself from this narco-terrorist state in Venezuela led by Nicolas Maduro. He's an indicted drug kingpin. He's conducted terror. He's put drugs and killed many, many Americans as a result of that. So the effort to oust Maduro that we did in the first Trump administration to go after Venezuela, to try and change the government in Cuba too, right? The nature of that regime is oppressing its people right on our doorstep. This is a legitimate effort by President Trump, and I hope he will continue to ratchet up the pressure. The tools are very broad. Lots of things that can be done. Short of putting the 82nd airport on the ground, there are many, many things President Trump has at his disposal. He's talked about closing the airspace over Venezuela. He's talked about putting economic pressure on the border between Venezuela and Colombia. Lots of options that President Trump has at his disposal. And I hope that the show of force, the large number of troops and ships that are in the area, aren't just there for show. I hope they're there to actually achieve the end state of making America safer again.
So let's talk about double tap strikes. So if you have a target, a terror target, you hit him. If there are survivors, I guess the rule of war is that you don't go back and finish them off. You capture them and I guess bring and imprison them. Washington Post says Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, ordered that double tap hit. The New York Times, of all people, seems to exonerate the Secretary of War. Said Mr. Hegseth, the head of the September 7th attack, ordered a strike that would kill the people on the boat and destroy the vessel and a purported cargo of drugs. Hegseth's directive did not specifically address what would happen if a first strike turned out to be not fully accomplish all those things. And the official said his order was not a response to surveillance footage showing that at least 2 people survived on the boat on the first blast. The admiral in charge did do that. And the president said, and the Secretary of War says, I fully support that admiral, and he says he's a great patriot. Your thoughts about this whole scenario? So
I've seen the work of Admiral Bradley for a long time. He's an amazing warrior. There's no doubt about that. The rules are pretty straightforward. The facts are murky. We need to figure out exactly what happened. But it sounds to me like if what has been suggested is true, that they were still trying to continue to do the work to defend America. If you have folks who are surrendering, if you have the capacity to capture them safely, not put any of your own soldiers at great risk, then it's true. You're not permitted to kill them under the laws of war. But what I've seen so far, the administration was simply trying to do the necessary to keep America safe. I hope that that's the case. We should have a full investigation. We should figure out exactly what the facts are. And if somebody broke the law, they should be prosecuted for that. It's pretty straightforward, Brian.
So Pete Hegseth fully in support of Admiral Mitch Bradley. I just want to tell you that in the 580 drone strikes, roughly, that Barack Obama did over 8 years in office, killing al-Qaeda terrorists and all their affiliates, and I'm fully in support of it. In 2012, a Stanford and NYU report said that there were dozens of double-tap strikes there. Amnesty International 2013 report says 28 strikes in northwest Waziristan had follow-up strikes. And I can go on and on with this. So are we going to go back and prosecute Barack Obama for those double-tap strikes and find out who authorized that, maybe at the CIA? Lastly,
Brian, that was exactly my point, Brian. This is complicated, very fact-dependent. You do have to finish the mission. If you're under threat, you have to make sure that you don't put your warriors in a position where their lives or their health is endangered. We can't permit that to happen. And so to continue to prosecute against the target is perfectly reasonable until such time as you are fully sure that you can capture them in a reasonable way and that you're not putting your own soldiers at risk. Till that time, you're free to continue to do the work that's necessary.
If Soleimani had survived the drone strike, would we not have finished him off?
Yeah, I mean, Soleimani was a terrorist. We would have made sure that Soleimani wasn't going to harm an American ever again. He killed over 500 of our folks in Iraq, Brian. And Soleimani was no more going to surrender or go peacefully than a man in the moon. And so, yeah, we would have done the work to make sure Soleimani never threatened an American again. Thanks so much, Mr. Secretary. I can't wait to get the aftermath of what you think is going to emerge. We don't have time now for Russia-Ukraine talks today. There's got to be some leverage on Russia to come legitimately to the table to end the fighting. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much. Always great. Thank you, Brian. Have a good morning, sir. You too. Luigi Mangione back in court today. We'll examine what key evidence his lawyers want.